amazing show where we talk about context engineering. And we are, I'm going to post it on Twitter right now. So that means we are live. Cool. Um, Thanks for joining us. This is the first show. It's going to be a little rough, but the good news is that we know what we're doing. So let's dive right in. So we're going to talk just the format of the show, so you guys know. We're going to talk about a few top stories of the week, and then we're going to dive into a in-depth workshop on a different topic every week. This week's we're going to talk about Claude Code, and we're going to talk about context windows in Claude Code and just how to manage them effectively. So that'll be our topic today. All right, Andrew, what's your story, really quick?
So I'm Andrew. I run Mangrove Technology. We are a consulting firm focused on artificial intelligence research and development. Been spending a lot of time recently on scaffolding and generating code without large language models. I have a strong belief that if you can get a lot of the boilerplate done without a large language model and just like be able to drip the context in piece by piece,
Exactly.
it's going to be able to generate things much better because it pulls up the file. The file might not be perfect, but the file has boilerplate, and so it can see the
Yep.
conventions. It'll know how to follow them. So that's kind of been my big focus right now.
Sweet. I have to sneeze really quick, so that's perfect timing. Just kidding. I got it. I saved it. All right. I'm Randall. My background is really weird. I started a company called Vipressa that was sold to Facebook. Before that, I was a journalist, which is why I do all this video stuff. Josh is on the ones and twos. He's our producer behind the scenes. Dan might be there too. We'll see. They're my co-founders on a company called Bolt Foundry. We have figured out some really weird, nerdy things about how to make LLMs more effective, mostly dealing with context windows and structuring prompts and turns in a very specific way. We'll talk about that throughout our time here. All right, so let's jump into the news. Uh, Grok 4, probably the biggest news of the week. Andrew, you have given it a little shot, right?
Yeah, so I tried it with Klein yesterday. It seems like a lot of people are pretty bullish on, okay, this thing's pretty smart. Like when I tried it, it was just like incredibly slow.
Yeah,
Like I was like, okay, I'm waiting. Like, so I think that's probably the bottleneck right now is just speed. In my mind, I was gonna run through my personal benchmarks I after it like cools down a little bit, and then maybe
yeah,
there's less
totally.
latency. So that was kind of
I
my big takeaway.
I used it from the user perspective on the web, and I was pretty happy with how it did seem like it was pretty good at reasoning. It was really easy to jailbreak. I don't know if you guys know Pliny the Elder. No, Pliny the jail liberator. That's Pliny the Liberator.
Yeah.
And he or she, they had a post up like yesterday on how to jailbreak it, and it like instantly worked. I had to like spitting out like how to make a bomb, math directions, like all this stuff that's just like wild. Um, so yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I think there's this like whole Elon thing. I like Simon Willison's take that it might not be as nefarious as we thought. I think that his Simon Willison's take was that, this might just be a weird factor where like it's like, oh well, I'm XAI, and if I'm supposed to have an opinion, I should probably go to the source, and the person who owns X is Elon, so maybe I should find out what Elon thinks.
I
I think
thought,
that's legit, but
yeah, the thing from Simon's post that I really liked was it's all just system prompt. Like I think there was a big
yeah,
controversy around
yeah,
how like,
like was Elon
oh,
in the system prompt or whatever.
yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, so and the fact that it can like cohere to the system prompt so well is more evidence that it is quite intelligent
Some underlying,
because
and it's like some underlying weird emergent issue.
yeah, like
It's freaking
it
wild.
can act like a 12-year-old boy, like really good, not because it's like bad, but because it's like really
It wants to
good.
listen to its parents.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh jeez. All right, other news this week. This is sort of a little bit out of date. So we'll show you fast pitch in a sec. We're actually using fast pitch to generate our stories generally. So we'll show you that in a sec. It's like our demo app. But there was Meta obviously like recruited a shit ton of people over the last couple weeks. There's reports that they were like $100 million offers. Andrew, like, how's your meta poaching going? Has anyone reached out to you yet
I get like an email a month, to be completely honest, and
from Meta?
oh yeah, like
Oh, sweet.
I just tell them like, hey, check it in a month. I love
That's
Florida a
awesome.
little bit too much still, which is definitely a character flaw. I'm well aware.
Yeah, that's
Um,
a problem. You should definitely reevaluate your Florida situation. Um, as far as I know, I'm on the persona non grata list for Meta because
because you
I
left.
worked there for 5 years, and the way I left was like super hilarious. Also, that story someday, but I'm pretty sure that they're like, yeah, don't talk to Randall ever, which is kind of a there's some upside in that. But yeah, I have
We
lots of
that
meta stories to share.
that would be a great episode because I have a great Uber last day story as well.
Sweet.
Um, I didn't
We'll
get
talk about
walked
our
out,
like
but it was a good story.
yeah, I managed to get like I mean I had a really rough mental health time when I was leaving, and so they were super cool about it actually. Like I'm not gonna like shit talk them because they were super cool about it. But the way we left was sort of like, yeah, we both think that this is over. And I'm like, yeah, all right, cool. The funniest part is that I got like the best performance rating possible like 2 months before that. Anyway, all right. So let's see. Any other news we want to talk about? I think we're done. I don't think Fast Pitch came up with any good stuff.
Let's
Uh,
talk about Cursor because I think that was something that I
oh
mentioned.
yes,
I'm getting more bullish. I don't use
yeah.
it,
Tell me more.
but I get it. I understand. Like, so we agree that this is all we're in the early days of AI
Yeah,
writing code. We're on that same page. We're in the early days of
and
AI writing code.
I'm sort of anti-cursor because I feel like it feels like a horseless carriage, and you're more like thoughtful and like less dickish about it. We'll say.
I was very anti-cursor, but the thing that I've started thinking about is they've raised a lot of money. This is still the early days, and
The
we're
Claude Code
founders.
poach, the Claude Code poach was pretty like significant too. That's like a
Sure,
non-trivial thing.
sure. I don't know. Like we could talk about Claude Code. That would be fun.
Yeah,
But with Cursor, it's like this is gonna be big. This whole thing, and it's not gonna
yeah,
be one by one company. So
yeah,
as long as they can be the number one or number two player in QA agents
yeah,
or DevOps agents, that justifies 9.9 billion. Like
yeah,
if they can win a couple categories and they are well positioned to win some categories, maybe not because they'll have the best tech, but because they have a massive sales channel, like
yeah.
that
Whatevs.
seems valuable. Like that just seems very
Yeah,
valuable.
I think they'll work as a company. Whether they'll work as like a foundational technology that developers use every day is another question. It kind of feels like a little JetBrainsy, where it's like, okay, this is the like tool that you use when you're writing Java at some like bank, and then like they use this so that it like is security compliant or whatever. But like hackers, I don't know, the hackers are going to be like, oh yeah, Cursor eventually. I mean, right now they are because it's like a really easy tool to use for them. But I think it's going to sort of go the other way.
I,
Let's jump in,
it's the
everyone.
death of the IDE.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
that
That's how I feel.
we are witnessing the end of IDEs, and Cursor is the last IDE
Exactly,
any of us are ever going to hear of, and
for
then it's
sure.
all
Because like
agents here on out.
I legit use VS Code as a text editor. Like it's more convenient than Obsidian to search for code is the only reason why I use it now. Because I told Andrew I use Obsidian as my primary text editor. And so like for a while I wasn't even using VS Code at all. Okay, let's quick sponsor break. So this is another thing we're gonna do, 10-second sponsor breaks. Andrew, do you have anyone you want to shout out really quick? Let's shout
Um,
out the YC Vibe Coders chat. That's pretty
yeah,
awesome. So we're in
those
this
people are
YC Vibe
great.
Coders chat, and that's like been super fun. That's actually how we bet. So shout out YC Vibe Coders chat. We'll have more sponsors from that soon. Also, Bolt Foundry is my thing, so go check out boltfoundry.com. ContextEng.ai is our official Substack thing. It's where hopefully you're watching this live. If you're not, if you're on X, whatever, go ContextEng.ai. Um, cool. So let's jump into the Claude Code stuff. Some of the stuff I want to talk about is context windows. We haven't even talked about what we're going to talk about. Andrew, is there anything you want to talk about specifically that we want to like go over?
The one thing was just like, hey, let's. I thought that the Cursor conversation was going to be fun. So, like,
Yeah,
yeah,
let's
let's
talk
talk
about
about
that in the let's talk about that in the
context.
context of building out our stuff and like where we feel like cursor is here and there and whatever. All right, so I'm gonna share this thing just for context. Andrew has never seen this before either. So I use Replit on a regular basis. It's my preference. I actually don't use REPL agent because we don't have it on in our mono repo. So most of the time, what I'm doing is I'm using Claude Code. Um, so the people that we talked to this week, a lot of the people there's this misconception. Actually, Andrew, let's talk about this before I jump into the Claude Code thing. I think there's this misconception generally that like people think the LLMs are just naturally going to get better because like all I have to do is dump all of my code base in the context window and it'll just work. Like that has not been my experience. I don't know
I
what your
agree.
take is on that.
I agree. Like, they're very good at needle in the haystack. Like, so that's the
Yeah,
thing why people were like kind of freaking out with Gemini, like when
yeah,
they have their million token context windows, like, oh my gosh, you can give it two copies of a book, change one word, and it'll tell you exactly what word it was on what page. They're very good
exactly.
at that. But like the number of times I've been in a work situation where I'm like, gosh, I've got these two
If
books.
only I could find that
The
single
one
word.
word.
I need to
Like,
compare the kids version and the adult version of Harry Potter and find out if there's any differences in the text. That's like an IT
yeah.
crowd quote. Anyway.
So, but other than that, like having more context does not automatically make up something smarter. Like I think that there are times like I reach for Gemini when I'm trying. I don't use the Context 7 or like any of these like dev tools that try to like gather your documentation for you. I roll that by hand. And so
Same.
that is a combination of like repo mix. I usually like take the repository, repo mix their documentation, take the repo mix file, drop it into the AI Studio with Gemini, and then I've got some prompts that will
Yeah.
generate a markdown file that I can then drop in as like a ruled file.
Dang. Yeah.
I,
I think that that's like, the thing that models are going to just continuously get better at is being really good at performing the tasks that you have asked them to do, right? The problem is that if you just fill the context window full of random stuff, it's not going to be able to perform the task that you actually want it to do because it's going to be distracted. It's like asking an intern or like even a PhD candidate or PhD to go read through like 7 books and then like look for the different word. It's just going to be like, okay, I mean, if you say you filled it up with like, oh, here's my entire code base, now go refactor this like one class or something. It's much easier just to be like, go find all the files that touch this class and let's refactor it, right? So giving it that context that's like much more like narrow is always going to benefit you. So we're going to do some changes to fast pitch. So fast pitch, if you want to go sign up, it does work. This is a public REPL too, I think. Did we make this public? Let's find out. Yeah, it's public. Cool. So we can share this. We'll share this link in the show notes, which I just decided we have. So we anyway, you can go check out fast pitch. You can fork the REPL. You can play along at home. The main thing I want to focus on today, actually, Josh, did we actually let's go through the AI selection. So we had this story selection. I dropped it in the live stream chat if you're in the VIP section. And we had these like 5 stories. I'll just paste them somewhere where we can see them on my other screen. And we're not super happy. I was not happy with like how these performed, right? So like, I'll just grab text edit. Great. I'm going to work on my presentation skills of this, but this is what we have for now. So these are the stories that I picked. So I picked meta. It didn't even mention grok, right? And obviously like that's a huge problem. So the things that I want to focus on right now is like, okay, how do I update this AI so that it's like going to be smarter? Andrew, like if you're sort of, I mean, let's talk about your position on Claude Code. You're
Mhm.
sort of like a medium. You kind of like it. You kind of not. Like you use Climb as your sort of daily driver, right?
yeah, like I keep trying. Like my whole journey is like with Cursor. X number of months ago, I try it. I'm like, I don't get it. I was still using GitHub Copilot. I think that one was trained on Ruby on Rails better. And so it's the same thing with Claude Code. Like I'm on Klein, everyone's hyping up Claude Code. I go to Claude Code, I don't get it. Like it just doesn't seem to work as well for me, which is kind of
Yeah,
where I'm of the mind that we're in the breakfast cereal market. Like I said that in
totally.
the Slack the other day. Like, I think that these are all just flavors of the same thing, and use whatever you like best. I don't think you're like missing out on anything if you're not using
Yeah,
Claude Code.
I agree with that definitely. I think that like the biggest difference between all these tools, like people would be like, well, I'm using, Opus on Klein, or I'm using Opus on Claude Code. Like, why aren't they the same? And the answer is because they're different system prompts. They're different products. They have different tool calls. They have different stuff. The underlying model might think the same or reason the same or like come up with the same answers, but like how it gets to those answers is completely different, right? Like picking the right tools, etc. This is a fresh Claude install, and I just realized that, so I'm just doing like a quick init of this Claude thing while we're going.
Uh,
Go ahead, Andrew.
I was like, oh, do we need to vibe? I can vamp.
No,
I think it's
I'm just.
interesting. It's interesting, like with Klein, I wish it was less coupled to VS Code, but with Claude
Yeah,
Code, I wish that there was more like UI on top of it. I wish that, like, because I like branching, I roll back a lot. I roll back a
yeah,
lot, and Klein gives me the option to roll back the files, the task, or both the file and the task. And that is so useful, especially when
yeah,
you have a SQLite database and like you can roll back state without,
yeah. Totally. Without
yeah.
cost. Um, I really like using Replit Agent for that specific flow. They also have Replit Assistant, which is like a little bit
Oh,
dumber. So like the Replit Assistant lets you do more of that stuff where you can have they do like get commits before and after every like change. So it's really easy to like go around. And SQLite's a really good call out to just say like use stateful databases that you can easily like roll around. All right, so this is the AI analyzer. In a nutshell, is this too small, Josh? I don't know if this is too small, but in a nutshell, like what it will do is it will go through and grab like we just crawl a bunch of how do I get to this CMS? I don't remember that. I wish Dan was here. Dan, where are you? Okay. How do yeah, slash admin. Cool. And then this is like some super secret password. Wow, that's the best password. I'm so glad I just heard that in my ear. All right, so this is the fast pitch dashboard. Essentially, what it does is it'll go through and we have a few of these sources picked, and so it'll just go through and then it scrapes them. I'm gonna go to how do I start a scrape, Dan? Really quick. Content review. All right, so I can run this scrape. It'll go like get a bunch of articles, and then when that's done, we hit generate digest. It'll create that thing, right? So in this case,
what are you
it's
using for
okay.
scraping?
So we just like what are we using for scraping, Dan? I think we're just like literally just curling all the things.
Okay.
Yeah. So Replit Agent is vibe coded that. So whatever. I'm pretty sure it's just like literally curling each thing and throwing
Look
it in a Postgres.
look into pure.md. I'm a big pure.md fan. It's like Firecrawl, but it like is reliable.
Sweet.
Um,
The OCR version of that is called Extend, I think. Oh, that's not it. Extend OCR. That's the
oh,
one.
interesting.
So this is
That
the
sounds
like,
cool.
yeah, this is the like version of that for like I need to scan a document and turn it into like something an LLM can deal with.
What's pricing?
Um, I don't even know to be honest, but
Anytime I look at any
it's
tool, I'm
decent.
immediate like, how much are you trying to tax me?
300 per month for 30,000 credits or whatever. So yeah.
Yeah.
They also have like a bunch of workflow stuff, but I actually don't like the workflow stuff. So whatever. Okay, cool. So that's two good things. Let's see where my Claude init is at. Great. Yes. All right. So in this case, like we're gonna take these posts and we're gonna generate a digest. Let me refresh really quick because there's no. There we go. Generate digest. So in this
No
case,
hot
it
reloading.
creates. No, not in this one. So this will do generate digest. Dan, where does the digest show up? Story review. Oh, there we go. This is the ones it picked. So this is like a little bit better, but it's still completely missing rock. So let's go vibe code some changes. I'm just gonna let this like continue so if it's Claude MD and we'll just do another shell. Claude.
What are
All
your
right.
thoughts
Oops.
on this whole world of sub agents without Git work trees and multiple Claudes and pull requests are now all mangled together? Like, do you think
Yeah,
that that's a problem? I think it's a problem.
yeah. So I use this thing called Sapling because I'm a Facebook alum. Sapling
Oh
is
yeah, yeah. That's tell me more about this. Like, I wanted to learn because this is
yeah.
it's
So
not even
Sapling's
Git,
a
right?
no, it's like based on Mercurial. So Sapling's cool because it's really built to split commits really well. And so like if you go look at our Bolt Foundry GitHub, like you'll go see like all these pull requests. Oh, that's a team status one. It's not gonna be stacked. Like this one's stacked even though it's broken. So like see I have these 4 different pull requests that are all split. And I actually have Claude Code generate these commit messages. So it's generating like these commit messages, and then as part of my commit process, it splits them up automatically. So if you have the same file, like that's split, it's actually like not going to do that. But generally, like when I'm doing multiple Cloud Code things, I'll have one that's like doing docs, and one that's doing front end, and one that's doing back end, and I'll try to like make it so they don't like collide, which means that I can end up having these like multiple setups. All right, so let's go. So the thing that I'll do, like I always do this every time, so I have this like I have a shortcut for it. It's not in this one, but I'll say let's go try. Okay, I try to explain the problem. We're having issues with our fast pitch story selection. It's picking stories we think are relevant, but it's missing a lot of key stories. This is the secret. Ask me questions one at a time so we can get on the same page. Okay, so let's talk about what this is doing. There's multiple things here. One is that I'm establishing in the first user message of this context window what I want it to do. So if you actually write the word think at all, so like I wrote think, it's going to run a thinking pass. So like you'll get to see the summary of the thinking output. What is the fast pitch story selection system? Is it an automation curation tool? So I'll be like, can you go find it? I think it's part of the server folder. I'm going to make this a touch bigger. Josh, you want to go one more? Is that good? All right, cool. Sorry, we have the producer in the ear thing, and I'm obsessed with that because I'm XTV, so it's like even cooler. All right, so the next thing it's going to do is it's going to go like just search all this stuff. A lot of times, if you haven't used Claude Code a lot, like if you at mess it, you can like at like a specific file, and if you do that, it'll actually like immediately dump that into the context window. So I find that super useful as well. So I found this the AI analyzer. It's using GPT to curate the top 5 news stories. Balances by taking top 3 from each source and leads to GPT. Okay, so what are the key stories that are missed that we expected to see? We missed the most important story of the week yesterday. It was about Grok for the latest model from X.AI. It is literally the most important story in the last few weeks and didn't show up in our summary. Okay, so the reason why I like to do this one question at a time thing is that you're building out the context in a way that is like logical, and the AI doesn't actually know, like the AI doesn't have to do as much work to figure out what you're trying to do, right? So in this case, like because it's asking you the questions and it's trying to like you're guiding it in a way that actually is the natural way for the AI to be guided, right? Like it's asking you it's going to ask you the questions that are most likely to like be in the autocomplete, right? I found the problem. The scoring relevance doesn't include a Grok or XAI and its high value lines. The sooner Grok's for announcement will get a lower relevance score. Cool. I'm not sure if. All right, I'm not sure if they're in the database, but can you check? We have our database configured and think you have access to PSQL. I actually don't know if this is the case, so I'm gonna have to fall back on. Oh, yep, it's gonna do it. Cool. So then this is gonna just check the database and try to find like if there's any Grok 4 stories. Hopefully there are.
And so the architecture here is you're pulling stories all week and then you're ranking them on Friday.
Yeah, we're ranking them right before you send out the message, which in this case is Friday. So it found an XAI article, and I'm just gonna have it go like do. I'm just gonna let it do PSQL commands. I can't wait for it to drop the database. It's gonna be exciting. Oh, so it only pulls stories when we actually do the story pull generate thingy that I just did a second ago.
Quick production
Whatever that
note.
was. Yep.
So I can hear Josh, you can hear Josh, but
No one
the
can hear
audience,
Josh at home.
no one can hear Josh at home. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. No one can
I
hear
was like,
Josh
why
at
did he
home.
just repeat Josh?
Yeah, that's why. You're like, you clearly haven't been a TV guy before. This is the best. Anyway. All right, so TechCrunch AI and New York Times both had the mentions of that. It's going to go try to figure out. So right now, like, because we gave it the context up front, it's going to go try to figure out all this stuff. And right now, like, it noticed that Grok and XAI aren't in the high value terms, which is clearly a miss. So it's going to go through, and it's coming up with a plan. So it says,
Well, like,
how do we want to do this? Go ahead.
is it a high value term? It is this week, but like this week, GPT-4 isn't a high value term. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. This is where the like. I mean, this is the whole Bolt Foundry like deck system thing.
yeah.
This is the like subjectivity. Like you have to have a way to eval subjectivity. So like we are not doing that in this case. We're just actually like YOLOing. But we have the Bolt Foundry system. We're starting to integrate into this, which we can show to like get some of that stuff good. So let's just say if we were to implement a different selection strategy, what would you think would be a good idea? This is just using Node, right, Josh? This isn't using like Geno or anything. It's just like vanilla Node to your knowledge. All right, cool. I think it's Veet though. So yeah. Veet rhymes with feet. That was Andrew's joke to me earlier.
No, like
Cool.
that's how the guy, that's not a joke. Like that's how the guy pronounces it.
I know
Like,
that's how he pronounces it, but it was like rhymes with feet was funny to me. All right.
I gotcha.
So major announcement detection strategy. Let's see. Yeah, so let's try to do the first one just to see what happens. What approach resident? Oh, I just realized I'm doing this without forking. Sorry, guys. I haven't made any changes yet, but yeah, I'm sorry in advance. All right. The worst. This is the worst thing about Claude Code. I don't think I've gotten a response to a like decision that I've made that doesn't have a exclamation point like
That's just
phrase at the
Anthropic's
beginning.
model. Like Grok wasn't doing that
So
yesterday. Google doesn't do that.
annoying. It's so
Um,
annoying. Great choice, guy. You're the best.
can
Thank
you
you,
pull up your
Claude.
settings.json?
This is like a fresh one, so there's probably nothing in it.
So why wasn't it yelling at you to approve things? Oh, is that like a
Oh,
Vim thing, maybe?
well, if you there's a couple different modes. Like so I have let me like I need to make sure there's two shells that I can get to easily. Sorry. Oh, there's the other one. Okay. So like right now it's about to ask to approve the process, right? Because everything I did before this was like context generation. It was like, let's come up with this thing, let's come up with this thing, let's come up with this thing. And now it's like, okay, like let's start to like actually implement it. So in this case, like it's gonna update it. Normally what I'll do in this case, like where we're like at the point of like, actually making changes, is that I'll just go through really quickly and just do like a fast pass of like, do I think this is like a good idea? So this seems like a bad idea. So I'm just gonna say like, how does the decrease from 3 to 2 affect the breadth of stories? And my instinct is that it's going to be like way worse because like if all we're getting is like the latest two stories from every source, then they're all going to be the same. And I think that's going to be shitty. So right now it says 8 sources, misses major announcements, are not top 3. Oh, so phase 1, it scans all articles, could be 100, and then it picks 2 from the best. I like that. Okay, cool. That seems better. So this is a 2-stage analysis where we find the 2 most important stories per source. I'm still a bit concerned that we're going to miss things. And this is like normally at this point where it's still going, I'm going to go look at the other thing and just see like what it's done. Cool. So I just did the Claude MD. I can like go look at it if I care, but I actually don't even care at all. I just wanted there to be one. So threshold, find all major announcements, no limit. Yeah. Which one of these do you think is right, Andrew? Do you have a dog in this race?
I would probably say like 3,
All right,
because
let's do it. Cool. Also, if you have any questions, I'm not really looking at the Twitter or whatever. I don't even know how for you guys. This is the first episode, so we gotta like figure out all this. We'll figure it out later. Cool. Yeah, I've seen the Riverside people come through. Do we have? Are people actually watching? That'd be kind of cool. All right, so this is going. Dang, people are watching on Twitter. What's up, Twitter? All right, so I'm just gonna look through quickly again. Yeah, so it just added this like sort of pipeline, which is totally fine. I'm just gonna like YOLO it. I'm just gonna let it just make changes. Sweet. Thanks for watching on Substack, my 16 people. I love you. All right, so that's gonna run this detect. It's gonna update this thing. I want to point out that like the thing that I'm always thinking about all the time is like, am I introducing like completely irrelevant things to a task? So at this point, like all I'm trying to do is fix story selection, and we're not like derailing onto like how do I fix my database or whatever. If I ever find those things, I literally have a notepad on my. Actually, I can just like show you. Where is it? That's the sort of shitty notes. There it is. This is the good ones. I literally have like notes where it's like I'll be like, oh, like I need to remember that like these are things that I've come across that are super annoying, and like I start those tasks in a separate Claude instance so that the context doesn't get polluted, right? Because even if I have like a side quest for a second, it'll actually like pollute all the context, and then you're like basically in the same boat where, okay, it's really good at needle in a haystack, but to complete the task you're going for, it actually like is super distracting. All right, so now it's adding some more keywords, which are really good.
Google
so like
Bard,
this is where I'm like, oh, I really want to. I really want to be like, okay, how do I like the note that I just saw that I think is interesting is like, okay, it seems like there's some code we can dry up because it's like I'll also update this other thing. That's don't repeat yourself if you're not a Ruby guy. I swear, is that like a Ruby thing? I think it's Ruby, but
yeah, convention over configuration. Don't repeat yourself.
dry.
I think that there's like
like
one other like thing that we all have tattooed on our arms, but I don't know it off the top of my head.
Maths is nice so that we're nice.
Maths is nice so that we're nice. That's a thing. Like we wish we had types, but we don't have types, and we all just kind of don't talk about it.
We don't talk about types. All right. Cool. So it's implemented the story selection thing. Cool. Do we, Josh, do we have to restart the server, or will it just restart automatically? Do you know the answer to that question? All right, let's try to do a scrape then. So we'll run another scrape, and hopefully it'll be better. Does it tell me if it's still pending if I refresh? Hopefully it does. We'll find out. Nope, it doesn't. So we'll just see when it's done.
It.
That's okay. We'll just let it go. All right, so this is gonna go, and then is there like a log I can look at to tell me when it's done? Because that'd be like decent. Is there like a console? Sweet. Let's check out the console. So like this is the scrapes running now still, and it's we'll just see how long it takes to go. Let's talk about the subagent thing while this is going. Have you used the subagents at all yet?
I have not.
I guess let's establish what subagents are. So Anthropic, as part of their like best practices thing, Anthropic Claude Code sub agents. They have this like thing that's like best practices for agentic coding, and then here they have like a thing that's like sub agents somewhere. So like this actually is a really good doc. I've actually never read this doc like all the way. I just like searched through it. But like some of the things that it just was saying, I was actually like, yeah, I actually really agree with that. Explore, plan, commit is like, there's whenever I've trained junior engineers, the thing I'll always tell them is like, you shouldn't be like writing any code until you actually know where the code you need to write is. So like at Facebook, for instance, there's this like 20 plus years of like PHP from like Zuck's code is gone, but there's just like random code from like 2007 that like does whatever, and you have to know where that stuff is. And obviously with AI, it's a lot easier to do that than it was by just like repping, which is what I used to do and be pretty good at. But so what I'll do is I'll do this exact thing. I'll do this exact thing, and then this is where they say, I just lost it. Sub agent. So if you can start thinking about how to break up a problem into multiple problems, you can use subagents to go get stuff. And the way you use them is like really annoyingly janky. This is still crawling, so I'll try to go do this. So I'm going to clear the context because this was just a Claude Code update, and I don't want to have any of that in the context. Let's just go do a sub-agent search for like, can you go figure out how the SMS is formatted? Use subagents to find the display on the front end and the text message output. So this will spin up probably 2 subagents, I hope. It's actually been really inconsistent when I get subagents and when I don't. Truth, I don't know if Truth is on. Truth, if you're watching, Truth is like the person who told me about subagents at all. Yeah. He was like, yo, like this is a thing. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. He was able to do some incantation that was like max subagents or something. And it was like, so I have 2, this is how you can see if you have subagents. Like, so there's 2 blinking thingies. So I have 2 subagents running. And as far as I can tell, I mean, there's like no docs on them anywhere. So like, it's really annoying. Yeah, this is really good. So you could, I guess this is probably the best use of subagents that I've seen, is like, if you ask Claude to do something, it'll like straight up like make the most complex test ever. I started writing, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff in my Claude MD where I was like, worse is better, like done is better than perfect, just like a lot of like things to try to get it to like do less. Claude recommends that you can use subagents to like make sure that the implementation isn't like just like overfitting the tests, but also I would use subagents to like evaluate the quality of the thing. Like, did it like overwrite tests? Because it almost always does. It's almost like always like junior engineer style. Yeah, well, the cheat thing is what they're saying. They're saying like, use subagents to make sure that it's not cheating. I'm saying use subagents to not only do that, but also to like, stop writing crazy complex unit tests, because they're usually like crazy over the top.
What I did yesterday for some tests is I had Claude write a bunch of model tests, and then I just was like, Gemini, go review these. How we doing?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. We should talk about that really quick. Like, the whole Bolt Foundry thing is this done? It looks like it's done. Yeah, it just finished. Okay. So let's go like get our generation and see if we get some.
It said 0 articles from 7 sources.
That might just be a bug, but I'm pretty sure that's just a bug in the display. All right, so let's go generate digest. And then, can I what? Yes, thank you. So did that, I don't know if that refreshed. Let me go down. We still didn't get any X stories, so that's not the best. Let's go ask Claude why.
Well, Claude is thinking, what are you using to send SMS, and when did you do your A2P 10 DLC registration?
Oh, like It took
Exactly.
it was like forever ago.
Yeah,
All
like
right,
sending
so
SMS is really hard. I hate it.
yeah, it's the worst. All right, so ba- this
Yeah,
was the oh son
it's
of a
just
bitch. I
regulatory
forgot
capture by
I'm not
Twilio.
on. Yeah. Okay. This didn't have any X stories still, and the story selection was pretty weak. Um, can you go find the prompt and maybe we can look at that together? All right. So this is where I'm inherently like I need to be doing two things at once because like this is gonna take a decent amount of time. So I don't know, Dan. What else do you want me to fix? Give me something clear. Um,
The like I just from observing, it seems like the console message was off with the zero new stories.
yeah, let's do that.
Your
That's a good
toast
one.
isn't working.
Yeah,
Like,
let's do the
and I think
toast.
it's interesting, like the different approaches to this stuff, because I'm still very much on a one track, like I basically propose things to Klein. Klein will come back to me with a list of questions, and then I will respond to them one at a time. And in that same workflow with Claude, it's not you have to like scroll up and down, and it what didn't work great.
Yeah.
Um,
All right. So now it's got some context about this. Let's see. Yeah. This is where like I actually need to use. Let's try doing three and see. But this is where like I actually need to
that's
use
a fun
our
like
Bolt Foundry product.
dot dot dot.
Yeah. Uh, if we can use the Bolt Foundry, like a lot of the Bolt Foundry stuff is about like evals, and we are just starting to do evals on this product. Do you guys have the calibration set up though, right? So let me go find that really quick. Is it called grader? Some kind of grader? Relevance grader. This is the grader. Okay, cool. So at this point, like we are pretty like unsatisfied with the story selection stuff. So we've come up with this grader that lets us like decide if something's good. There's like a little detour into my product. I'm sorry, but AI BFF calibrate fast pitch AI grader digest grader AI V4. I think you want to use. All right, so like this is normally what we'll do. Oh, except for we don't have AI BFF installed, so I can't run it. That's shitty. Oh well, deal with that later. But normally what we would do is we'd run this and we get results that show us. Oh wait, is it? And then like which AI BFF? All right, so it's not in the path. There we go. All right, we'll do that again. The advantage of having people in your ear is that you can fix problems, like line breaks. Jeez. AI V4 go. All right. So this goes and this runs, and it's gonna go like check. This is like old samples, so they're not like it's not perfect, but it created this results file which I have to download, which is going to be in the root. I have to download it because we're on Replit and not my local box. All right, so then this is the analysis we just ran. So our grader right now disagrees with everyone a little bit, like with our ground truth a little bit. We could try to take the output. Actually, let's do that. Let's try to take the output and create another. Sure. Where's my other shell?
I don't think that's gonna change anything. It's just basically saying the toast will disappear quicker.
I know, I know. I just was like hitting it anyway. All right, so I'm actually like not going to do this anymore because I don't believe it's going to work. Maybe I did have to do npm run build. Let's try it.
I wonder if that's like a big analytics at Anthropic. How often are people clearing the context without accomplishing what they wanted?
That would be a really good eval for them. That would be a
Yeah.
really good eval for them. Okay, So the next thing, okay, we have a uh, greater E4 somewhere. Yep. And we'd like to add another sample to it. Whoops, that's not it.
Have you done anything with the voice typing products yet?
No, I is my dream, but I just am not. It's not enough of a priority for me yet.
I can talk about the dabbling I've done next
Do
week.
it. Let's talk about it right now because I'm pasting shit, so you might as well.
So yeah, like I have remapped my microphone button on my MacBook Pro to Super Whisper, and I like it because the microphone button on the MacBook Pro by default doesn't work ever. Have you ever pressed
Yeah,
that button? No, no one
never
does
pressed
because
it.
it doesn't work. Like, so
Yeah.
basically I used Carabiner Elements to say, okay, this button, it's not F5, it's F20. And then I go into Super Whisper and I'm like, all right, the shortcut key to activate Super Whisper, F20. And so now whenever I want to do voice, I just press the microphone button. I talk to my computer, like, and it does a pretty decent job at like picking up my voice. It doesn't do any diarization though. Like that's kind of the next step.
Yeah.
Like I want to start recording like meetings with permission by just like pressing a button on my keyboard and then being able to get the two people split conversation, which would be nice. But yeah, like right now when you're asking a lot of questions in natural language, that's when I would say, oh, let's just press the microphone button and talk to it.
That's a
Now
really good
that
idea.
that won't work on this specific podcast because your microphone is currently in use by the podcast. So that's why
Oh,
it's
I
like
have a lot
hard
of
to.
no. I can make that shit work. Trust me. That's not going to be my issue. All right, I'm gonna click download this. Exactly. Josh knows. All right, so it didn't. Did it even get into the grader? I don't even know if it made it in. Grader digest quality sample -3 weak stories. I guess we can look at the previous one too. Nope, it didn't make it in. All right, that's a bug, which I'll figure out later. Anyway, the point is that like what we would normally do to like fix this problem is we would update a grader, do an eval, blah blah blah. So we'll do that later. Any questions from the chat, really quick, because I want to make sure that we are answering any questions. I don't think there's any, but I don't know, Josh. Did you see anything on X or anywhere? All right. Well, that's basically all I was going to show is this context stuff. Um,
Let's
we were
talk about
unsuccessful, but
let's talk about the backlog.md. That I don't know if that was this week or last week, but that
oh
thing still
yeah.
seems cool. I haven't got to play with it yet.
Okay. Cool. So that's in our monorepo, which is also public,
Oh,
but
you're using it
so yeah, like let me go to
because
projects
like you
monorepo.
just said, oh, that's a bug. I'll fix that later. Like to me, it's like, okay, well, how do we get that into this backlog thing? And how do we
Yeah, so
rewrite
like
backlog so it works in Rails?
yeah, so the problem is that I the this is by necessity its own world, not in the monorepo. So the monorepo, let me fork this so I don't make the same mistake I made on fast pitch. Um, the monorepo is like where we do all of our development for Bolt Foundry, and a lot of the setup that I have in here is built specifically to like work really well with LLMs. So one of the things I've done that's like really important is I have this folder structure that's fractal. Every single folder can have a memos folder or a docs folder. The intention is for docs to be users of the folder and memos to be developers of the folder. So in this case, like the outermost stuff is like all of the like company level stuff. So like this is our backlog for like our company level like stuff. Um and then like the idea is that like things in caps are probably going to be like used across multiple folders. So like the readme you're going to have and the status you're going to have, this is super out of date though. But
This is so JavaScript.
why say more
Like
about that?
the convention of okay, so if it's in caps, it's going to be used in other folders. But
Well, no,
like,
no, no. That's just like a. It's like a. You should pay attention to this thing. Like backlog is in every folder. Change logs in
gotcha.
every folder. Like that sort of thing. It's not like I actually like I'm going to reference it because it's in caps. Although that would be very JavaScriptian. So we have this thing called plans where we build out. Um, like I was. Anyway, it doesn't matter. This is where we build out plans and stuff. So the idea is that like while you're coding on something at any time, um, I have to log into Claude, which I don't want to do on my machine here. But the idea is that um, when you're coding at
Hey,
any time, you can just be like, let me like add to the backlog, and you'll just tell it like add to the backlog, and this is literally just like a markdown table, and then like eventually like I'll have like a reason why we care about it, and then with that I'll go back, I'll have the backlog, and I'll use the backlog to develop plans that then we use to like implement stuff. Does that make sense?
yeah. There's
So,
like a specific product called backlog.md that came out that I haven't looked into. Like,
oh
that
really?
seems pretty, yeah, it's like a task manager. Also, like,
Cool.
well, Randall's looking into this. Like, I did just notice it is 7-Eleven. So shout out mom and dad,
Oh,
happy anniversary. And then
also
you can get a free Slurpee
free
today. Yeah,
Slurpees. Free
yeah.
Slurpees.
They do that for my mom and
Nice.
dad's wedding anniversary every year. It's great.
Click link. Cool. Yeah, I haven't checked this out. So this is just like a task manager that's like a CLI task manager. That's pretty cool. So I don't use this. I just like straight up put backlog stuff in, and I think using some form of that is like a hack to where's my did I close it? I don't even know where I put it. Thanks. So the goal, like my underlying goal, is to make it so that as I'm managing context windows, that I can easily reload them. Right. So
I have not
backlog
done
is
a
a
good
way of,
job on that, so that's fantastic.
yeah, backlog is a way of doing that. Implementation plans are a way of doing that. Like, uh, so I'll have like implementation plans that are specific to like one topic, and then I'll also have like a technical version. So in my like actual like I think we have some in here. Yeah, so like this is like specific implementation plans for like the GUI right panel or whatever, and this is for this single product instead of for the whole company, right? And so like this lets me I don't write any of this, to be clear. I just like tell it to do it, and then Claude Code does a pretty good job of looking at how other files are structured, and then it tries to like replicate them decently. So I have enough of these now that it'll just like do them pretty correctly. And these dates are wrong because Claude doesn't know things, but it's fine. Um, so like this is my way to fill the context window back up. So like in a case like this, I will log into Claude. Hold on, I'm just going to unshare my screen so I feel comfortable doing this really quick. Claude. Sorry, this is the best 2 minutes in broadcasting.
Is that a Utah Jazz hat?
Hell yeah, it is. And a
I
Utah Jazz
was
shirt. I
I
match.
was like so confused because I was like, okay, it's a basketball, but then with like a Pikachu tail? Is it like a
Kind of.
Pokemon basketball hat?
It's like kind of a Pokemon basketball hat.
Yeah.
All right, I'm logging into Claude. I thank you for noticing though. That's pretty awesome.
This is from Shuck the Musical.
What is that?
It's just a musical about corn, and I really liked the hat. It's an okay musical. It's not like super great, but I love the hat.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. All right, so this is okay. So what I'll normally let's throw a little bug there. All right, what I'll normally do is I'll be like, actually, sometimes I'll legitimately be like, what should I work on? Actually, so this has questions one at a time. It's like a it doesn't because of a reason, but um, what I'll do normally is I'll be like, what should I work on? Can you ask me questions one at a time so we can get on the same page? Cool.
It's fascinating.
And so then this will like go crawl. Let's go find high priority implementation plans that are in progress. So it'll go through and just like find random stuff. This isn't going to be like perfect, but it's going to be okay. Um, and then like at this point, I'll like it should be able to find something that's decent, and then start to like ask questions and ask questions and ask questions. And then as soon as I find the thing I'm going to work on, I'll immediately clear the context again, and then I'll just be like, go read. I'll like see like it picked actually the one I was hoping it would pick. It's picking the like, it's actually picking pretty good ones, which is cool. This is also another good thing to use subagents for, because you could be like, go check out the AIBFF stuff, and go check out the website stuff, and go check out the whatever stuff. So like
Kind of
having those different
what was the big Google thing from like 2 decades
wave,
ago? No, MapReduce. Like it's like,
yeah,
yeah,
it's
it's like,
exactly like that. Yeah, you can just
yeah,
like fan out a bunch of whatever to go do stuff and then bring it back. Um, so yeah, this is like my strategy for managing context. All of it's like pretty loosey goosey, but the intention is always like whatever is in my Claude Code window needs to be directly relevant to the task and literally nothing else. And if I can't do that, I need to like write an implementation plan, which is like oftentimes what I'll do, and then I'll have it reference that implementation plan if I can't do it like all in one shot. So cool. I think that's about it. We're like out of time. We gotta go. This has been a long show anyway. Andrew, thank you for being on the show and being a co-host. It is much appreciated. You're my like spirit animal of context eng AI. So yay.
love it. Yeah, I'm excited to continue co-hosting the show. Like next week, I can maybe dive into my client workflow because it's very different. It's
Yeah.
very different. Like, and so it was very nice to be able to see like how you're working and how that kind of differentiates from how I've been working. Because I would never just be like, what should I work on? I'm much more like single task. But again, I have a smaller team, so that's kind of part of it.
Well, I just
Um,
have ADHD like crazy, so a lot of times I'm just like writing like I have like a million things I can work on at once, and I'm trying to do a usually I'll have like one primary task that I'm like focused on, and I won't let Claude like auto complete stuff, and then I'll have random background tasks where I'm just like, yeah, just YOLO, just good luck, like figure out whatever you
yeah,
want
like
to
I
do.
think that is
So
like a really good workflow where it's like, okay, here's what I'm working on, but like, well, I'm waiting on you to work on that, and I already got the
write
snack.
docs.
Like,
Docs is the way, dude. I just write
yeah,
docs, like, because if I like docs are exponential in value. Like they always help. So I'm always like, let's go write a doc about this. Let's go write an implementation plan about this. Let's go whatever. Because then I can even more YOLO it and just be like, okay, like just good luck. Like write over whatever you want. And I'll read it in code review. You know. Cool. All right, that's it. Thank you everyone for joining the first episode. These are going to get wicked awesome because of the amazing team behind the scenes. That is Josh and Dan who are making things work. And thanks for watching. If you got questions, feedback, contexteng.ai is the site. Subscribe to our Substack. We're actually going to get like paid subscribers at some point. Paid subscribers will be able to be as a part of the our little chat stream that we have. And yeah, I think that's it. I don't know, Andrew, any parting shots?
like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. That's a werewolf
Yeah,
channel. Like and
it's
subscribe.
it's
Just
a
kidding.
it's a YouTube. Like,
No, I
remember,
know.
smash that like button. They have a
Smash
new
that like
AI.
button. Turn on the
Yeah.
bell.
All right.
All right, cool.
Sweet.
Well, thanks everyone. We'll catch you later.
All right. Talk soon.